Tjena! Välkommen till min nya show. I den här showen ska jag recensera retrospel. Och idag är det sommar. Okej, kanske inte helt sommar, men ni fattar vad jag menar. Och för att fira sommarens ankomst så ska jag recensera ett sommarspel. Wave Race 64. Så nu kör vi. Jag har en 64 redo. Och spelet. Så nu stoppar vi in det och spelar lite Wave Race.
Spelet startar med jetskis och ascool musik. Heck yeah, det här kommer bli en bra recension. Ska vi se, det finns 5 olika lägen. Championship, time trial, stunt mode, 2 play versus options. Jag ska köra Championship. Heck yeah, Championship. Expert, heck yeah. Ska vi se, man kan välja olika jetskis. Man kan välja en blå, en rosa, en lila och en grön. Vet ni vad den coolaste är blå, så jag väljer den. Och de lär även till en funktion att man kan anpassa jetskin efter dig. Och som ni ser så har jag anpassat den perfekt efter mig. Så det här kommer bli intressant, så nu kör vi.
Att de la in en anpassningsfunktion för en jetski var faktiskt en väldigt bra idé. För om du suger med en vanlig jetskin så kan du bara välja jetski och anpassa den hur du vill.
3, 2, nu kör vi! Okej, håller stadigt i tredje plats. Okej, nu håller jag inte längre en stadig tredje plats. Va? Vad hände? Jag går inte lika snabbt längre. Va? Ha, så det var därför jag failade. Det var på expert. Men då får jag väl välja normal då. För det jag antar att det är lättare. Det verkar vara lättare i alla fall, så det är bra. Men vart är vågorna? Det här är Wave Race. Ja, det heter Wave Race för en anledning. Vart är vågorna? Vi tar en titt på inställningarna tycker jag. Så det var därför vågorna var så himla lugna. De är inställda på calm. Jag tycker vi ställer in dem på wild. Så ja, det var bättre. Wow, yeah, det här var mycket bättre. I'm sorry lady. Tack herr domare, bra att du sa det. Annars skulle jag inte veta att jag är först. Stuntdags. Fina med stunt mode är att man kan välja vilken bana man vill köra. Jag väljer Drake Lake.
3, 2, 1.
Vänta, samlar man ringar. Det här är inte Wave Race 64. Det är Superman 64. Ah, fuck. The game starts out with the ocean, and then suddenly a giant mountain appears and giant letters says the Geek's Duel Academy, and then we see a picture of the academy in the background. And then we get a new game or continue. I'm gonna show us new game because this is a review. For some reason the game always starts off at October the 1st Sunday. I wonder what year this is. And this is Shyster Shepherd. He is the principal of this school. And you know he's the principal because he's got an awesome mustache. And this guy just tells you to write down your name on this document, because otherwise, how would you otherwise know that you have come to Duel Academy? And I'm gonna name myself to this. Bam! Citron. You can never find a better name. Yes, I just wrote down that on my document. Oh yeah, you always begin your life at Duel Academy in Slifer Red. No Royal Yellow, no Obelisk Blue, no nothing. Just Slifer Red. And this asshole is called Professor Banner. His real name goes by Lehman Banner. And you know he's nice because he's got a sweet tie and some nice glasses. And now you get introduced to the guys in the Slave Red dorm. Remember, it's always guys. Why does it have to be guys? Why no girls? And now I can finally choose what I want to do. I'm gonna go to sleep because tomorrow is class. And this guy right here is called William Crowler. He's the teacher of the Obelisk Blue dorm, and he wants Jaden to be kicked out in the first half of the season. So now you know that. And you know he's an asshole because he doesn't let the Slave Red dorm answer the question because he only likes Obelisk Blue. By the way, that girl's name that he asked to tell about field spells was Alexis Rhodes. And now Cyrus tells me a bit about dual points. That's pretty much the currency in this game. You use that to buy cards, and only cards, no nothing, no drugs, no bananas, no fruits, no nothing, just cards. I think you can buy chocolate though. And now here's that asshole giving me a 3,000 dual points. Thanks, Professor, asshole. You know what this means? Card buying time! You can either choose to buy packs just by using money, or you can use a password machine to get the cards you want. I don't have the password, so I'm not gonna use the password machine. You can choose to buy up to 99 packs, however, I don't have that much money. I'm just gonna buy 5 packs. That's what I usually buy. And now you get this nice animation that shows all of the cards going into your briefcase. That's pretty nifty, huh? And after that little cutscene, you can show you can see all of the cards that you bought and what you got. Oh yeah, by the way, you almost never get the card that's on the front cover of the pack. So I didn't get a Salmon Skull this time. Holy shit, I got a furry elephant. These purple cards are fusion monsters. These can only be summoned by 2 monsters and the special card, Polymerization. In my opinion, I think these cards are pretty cool. And they can be powerful if you got the right monsters. And you can also look at the cards that you have bought by pressing the start button on your Game Boy Advance. However, you press the enter button if you're playing at an emulator like I do. And that's how you buy cards. When you're not buying cards or dueling, you can walk around the academy and have a look at all the trademarks that were from the series. You know, the docks, the academy itself, the shop, the gym, yeah, everything. This game has all the notable locations from the series, and that's kind of cool. And if you press start when you're walking around, you can have a look in the menu. Here you can request duel, check your cards, and see how many duels you won and lost. You can even link you can also link 2 GBAs to play duels against your friend, if you have any. Remember, this game the Game Boy Advance doesn't have Wi-Fi connection, so this is not an online game. And now it's finally time to duel, and I decided that I'm gonna duel Cyrus because he's Jaden's best friend throughout the series. And remember, all the friends in this Slave Red dorm, they're always happy. They can never be sad, just sad at the moment. And now, if you want the heads or tailing, you can choose if you're gonna go first or second. I'm gonna go first because that's how I roll. And you always start out with a fire deck. You can, as I said, you can buy cards, and then you can change out cards in your deck later to make it better than ever before. Alright, the first thing you have to do, if you have any monsters that's level 1 or through 4, you can place them. You can set them on the field in defense mode or play them in attack mode. I recommend with flip effect monsters like Manny to Bug play it in defense mode, because then the opponent will be tricked. You can never attack if you start first, so that is the perfect time to lay down a high defense and a great card, so your opponent can't stop you. Oh yeah, Cyrus just played an equip card. You can put this at a monster and it gains attack. Black Panda raises his attack by 500, and when that monster is destroyed, you take 500 points of damage. But then I countered right back by playing Manny to Bug's special ability. When it's flipped up, which it was before it was destroyed, I can destroy one monster, and I'm choosing Steamroid. And now I use the spell card to take back one of his monsters from the graveyard, and of course he chose Steamroid. The special abilities of monsters is different. The most common kind of spell of monster effects allows you to take one monster from your deck and special summon it in attack mode, like the thing in the crater. And when it's destroyed, it allows me to summon a fire monster right from my hand, and I'm choosing Twin-Headed Fire Dragon. And I'm choosing attack mode. That's what we call a special summoning. And now he gives up. I'm choosing Black Pendant to make my Twin-Headed Fire Dragon stronger. And Cyrus just chained, which means that he can use a card to counter my equip card, and he shows Magic Jammer, and that stops spell cards and destroys them. That was a trap card. And that's how Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Duel Academy works. So, is Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Duel Academy really worth buying? I would say yeah. It's good enough to be called a good Yu-Gi-Oh! Game. Yeah, it's 10 years old and they have way more cards than it was in 2004. But if you want to live up the Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards and you don't really like the new one, then this game is definitely worth getting. And difficulty for the AI is perfect. They counter you perfectly, almost way too perfectly. My recommendation, if you're going to play Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Duel Academy, buy as many good cards as you want. You will need that. And that is it for this review. I see you next episode. Bye. Hello everyone, and thank you for watching this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe and share on social media. I will see you next episode. Bye. Main menu. Okay, that's lame. Let's have a look at the Incredibles instead. You know, those people on the title screen. Yeah, they look like as they should. And now we get a beautiful virtual picture of New York City. Nice time for some gameplay. And you punch. Only. During combat you get these things saying fantastic or showtime, and I like it. It encourages me to keep fighting. That's how that the game did. It gives you feedback for how well you perform your punches in combat. Nice job. Come on, come on, come on, come on!
Oh, come on, man. We rehearsed this throw before. You're supposed to hit the box that destroys those lasers. You're not supposed to hit the gate. Alright, we try this again, and this time remember to hit the control box. Okay? Okay, good. Okay, now we see, was it really that hard? Alright, let's move on with this review.
Another thing that's good about this game is that you can grab enemies while you're climbing on pipes. Just approach an enemy, then press the E button in order to grab an enemy. Simple is that. Here's another cool thing you can do. If there are enemies gathering around you while you are higher than them, and they can't get up to you, you can go...
Wow, you don't see that in games today.
He's not gonna get killed by helicopter blades.
He died. Nah, I'm just kidding, he's not dead. Let's move on.
Now for this part, you're gonna throw back the bombs that the guy throws at you. It's pretty simple. You can also punch. And now we place this woman, Elastigirl. And she's my favorite Incredible because she can grab onto poles and get over gaps just like Spider-Man because of her arms. Stretchable arms. You can also grab bad guys with your arms and throw them at other bad guys. It's pretty cool, honestly. And she can also make spaghetti if you want her to. Look at all those people. They're so beautiful. Let's join them! Oops.
När jag är i dessa situationer.
You know what? This guy kinda reminds me of Rocksteady from Ninja Turtles. Holy shit, lights! Those electrified floors don't scare me. I stretch right over them.
Får se vad som...
I should point out that on the box it says this game is for 7-year-olds and up. Why? This game is so violent.
Gud nåde dem.
Epic camera! Wow, this is fun, yeah! And you didn't thought Mr. Incredible could fly? Well, you're wrong, just look at this. Opposite proven.
Du är bara barnet. Släpp! Bomben kommer att explodera.
Alright, let's have a look at the damage system for the boss. Whenever he's throwing out one of his bombs, you're gonna throw it back in his helicopter. That's how you damage him. And this boss takes about 20 minutes because you have, and it's really easy. The only thing you have to do is avoid his attacks. That's it. So you know what? I'm gonna skip to the next level. Okay, burning house. By the way, never run too fast, because if you do, you will die. Because of that gauge in the corner.
Då brinner det upp! Nu börjar det hetta till! Jag är dashen! Yeah!
If you hit anything that's bigger than you, you will die.
Jag är dashen!
So I guess you can say this is a level that requires trial and error in order to complete it. Your normal speed is always 123 miles per hour, but you can also slow down by pushing the down key on your keyboard, but it won't help much. We slow down it to like 108 kilometers per hour instead. And also, this town is crazy in the morning. I'm gonna point out why. First, we have that moving truck.
Där är bussen!
All of these other trucks. The pizza van, which I should point out is from Toy Story 2.
Dashen regerar! Alldeles för nära!
Speed up and push jump at the right moment.
Walk blink!
And that's not it. Let's try
Jag är
again.
dashen! Suverän!
Oh yeah! Also, there's a police chase in the morning. Cool. I find it a bit weird that everything that happens at the exact time that Dash approaches. I wonder why. But I will say that the graphics look really nice for being a PC game. I remember this when I saw this game at first. I thought the graphics was awesome, and nowadays the graphics still holds up even today.
Ta mig om du kan!
Also, that car window is dangerous. It's so white you can't even see through it. I found it a bit weird that the sky is just white. There's not even a single sign of the sun. What the heck happened? Is there like a milk sky? Is that why there's no sun at all? if you hit one of those, what are those things called? Roadblocks, they will explode. I don't know why, they just do.
Jag är där!
You know what? This is going too far. I'm going to show the final scene when you have arrived at the school, and then I quit. Then I quit showing more of the game.
Jiha! Boom! Coolt! Dashen på sekunden.
Actually, it was 53 seconds left.
Joha!
And that was The Incredibles for the PC, or as it's called in Swedish, Superhjältarna. So is this game worth getting for Christmas, or just getting some other time? I would say yeah. Even though the first levels are tutorials, they're quite fun. I played this game as a kid and I liked it, and I think you should do that too. And that was the last video for this year. I'll see you for 2015 when I'm gonna do more reviews. The reason? Well, because it's Christmas and it's New Year's Eve next week. So I'll see you in January, I hope, of 2015. Until next time, have a good year and Merry Christmas to you all. Goodbye.
Det första som händer när man har poppat in disken, knappt på TV:n, startat PS1, i ett filmklipp ger det motivation, en story. Det första jag måste säga är att kvaliteten på klippet inte är dålig. Det är ljusa färger och rösterna passar till karaktärerna som ser levande ut. Storyn handlar om Kajsa Ankas jobbar som radioreporter och rapporterar in i trollkarlen Murlocs tempel för att kolla in hans onda planer. Fråga mig inte varför hon gör det, hon bara gör det. Men nyhetsrapporten misstänks som blir tagen av Murloc och det är upp till Kalle Anka att ta Kajsa till säkerhet. Eller ja, Alexander Lukas hoppar i en portal som kan ta en direkt till templet. Så portalen har inte nog med kraft för att ta honom dit. Så vi måste resa igenom skogar, städer, spökhus, templet. Så det är Super Mario 64 igen. Flickan borttagen, rädda henne. Men har ni märkt en sak? Vad hände med kameramannen? Du vet han som filmade i nyhetssändningen. Vad har han tagit vägen? Alltså det är fan för att han är borta, jag är så jäkla rädd. Jag hoppas att de hittar honom också. Kontrollerna är inte de bästa. Ibland registreras inte det andra hoppet, vilket kan leda till många jobbiga dödar. Jag ska visa vad jag menar. Och det där var inte ens alla gånger det hände. Jag har inte med alla scener då han dör, för då skulle det här bli en alldeles för lång video. Men bossfighterna är den perfekta utmaningen. Alla bossarna är karaktärer från Kalle Anka-universumet. En gigantisk höna som jag har glömt bort namnet på. En av björnbusarna från Björnligan, Magica the Hex och Murloc. En sak som alla bossar har gemensamt, förutom att de kommer från samma universum, är deras attackmönster. Först attacker från smärre fiender och sen attack från bossen själv. Det mönstret är ganska lätt att lista ut, men hej, det är kul medan det varar. Nu är det dags att prata om grafiken. Grafiken ser generellt sett bra ut. Den är ljus och full av färger. Då tänker jag att spelet har åldrats med värdighet. Så är det tills du kör Time Trials. När du kör Time Trials på en bana försvinner alla objekt och banorna ser ganska tomma ut. Så det där var Donald Duck Quack Attack. Är det något bra? Ja, det är något bra, men tyvärr så är det inte alls lika bra som Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot är 25 gånger bättre än Donald Duck Quack Attack. Men det finns något som slår Donald Duck Quack Attack från Crash Bandicoot. Jag ska ge dem exemplen. Crash Bandicoot finns bara på PlayStation. Donald Duck Quack Attack finns på Nintendo 64, Sega Dreamcast, PlayStation 2, GameCube, PC, GBA och GBC. Och PlayStation. 8 versioner. Det finns bara en version av Crash Bandicoot. Och plus så är Donald Duck Quack Attack billigare. Du kan betala 100 för det. Du kan förvänta dig att betala 500 eller mer. Eller ja, minst 300 för en kopia med box alltså. CD kanske är billigare. Men om du vill ha en rolig
lätt och billig plattformen så rekommenderar jag Donald Duck Quack Attack. Okej, det var allt för den här videon. Vi ses nästa video. Hej då!
Vill du ha mer videos så klicka på dessa 2 länkar. Ha det så bra!
Tjena allihopa! I dagens avsnitt så ska vi kolla på Croc, Legend of the Go-Boat. Ett av de bästa spelen, i min mening i alla fall. Det här gjordes av Argonaut Software. Ett företag som gjorde för det mesta filmbaserade spel. Som Harry Potter, Jesus nya stil, etc. och etc. De finns inte längre, men det här spelet sålde 3 miljoner kopior på PlayStation. Och var också bästsäljande spelet i 2 månader rakt igenom i Storbritannien. Det här spelet sålde 3 miljoner kopior och är nu på bästsäljande PS1-spellistan. Det kan aldrig flyttas därifrån. Så är det förtjänar spelet verkligen att sälja 3 miljoner kopior på PlayStation. Låt oss ta en titt. Nu kör vi. Spelet inleds med ett intro som inte är animerat. Något som var sällsynt på den här tiden eftersom det var nytt med animerade intron. Och så många spelutvecklare som möjligt ville tömma alla 650 megabyte som en serie hade med spel. Det finns inga tal i det här spelet som är bra. Istället får vi söta ljud. Hade spelet haft röstskådespeleri skulle det inte vara lika bra eller sött som det är nu. Storyn handlar om en krokodilbaby som heter Croc som en dag flyter från någonstans in vid en ö som är bebodd av dessa lurriga varelser som kallas gobos på engelska, gobor på engelska antar jag. Och efter härliga stunder med filmer om Croc som växer upp störs friden av att baronen Dante kommer dit från ingenstans och förstör friden. Tar kungen som skickar iväg Croc så att Croc får chansen att rädda kungen. Och när det introt är över spelas huvudlåten. Och jag måste bara säga, den här huvudlåten är bland de bästa huvudlåtarna jag har hört. Bara lyssna och njut. Kontrollerna är simpla. Använd vänster styrspak för att styra Croc. Tryck på X 2 gånger för att snabba hårt i marken. Det är nödvändigt för att sönder dessa stora lådor. Använd fyrkant för att attackera fiender med svansen. På vägen kan du samla på dig kristaller som fungerar som liv. Blir du träffad av en fiende förlorar du alla kristaller. Så tekniskt sett behöver du bara en kristall så är du säker. I alla fall, nu går vi vidare. Banorna hittar 6 stycken goboer som ser ut så här. Det finns 5 som måste hittas på huvudbanan och en hemlig som bara finns i bonusbanan som bara öppnas om du hittar 5 färdiga pärlor och först då öppnas den. Vad gör goboerna som du samlar på dig idag? Jo, om du hittar alla 6 goboerna på de 3 första banorna kommer du till en bonusbana där du samlar på dig extra liv, kristaller och pusselbitar som bidrar till att låsa upp finalvärlden. Du låser upp en bonusbana om du hittar alla goboerna på de 3 första banorna. Sen så kan du låsa upp en till bonusbana och gör samma sak efter första bossen. Så totalt 2 bonusbanor på varje värld. Det där var väl allt jag kunde visa för er av spelet. Det finns bossstrider också i det här spelet som är i princip väldigt lätta. 3 träffar, död. Så det var allt för denna video. Jag rekommenderar det här spelet till alla. Även fast det inte såg så imponerande ut på videon så är det ett jättebra spel. Det här spelet finns också på Sega Saturn, Game Boy och PC. Så det är bara att välja och vraka. Men innan vi ses nästa gång. Tjena allihopa, välkommen till dagens recension. Idag ska jag recensera Wave Race Blue Storm. Som ni kanske minns har jag recenserat Wave Race 64 förra året. Runt sommaren i juni. Och för att fira att jag recenserade Wave Race förra sommaren. Så varför inte recensera Wave Race Blue Storm som kom ut i Gamecuben? Okej, så nu kör vi igång det här. Spelet har 8 karaktärer, vilket är dubbelt så många som det förra spelet hade. Och varje karaktär har sina styrkor och svagheter. Vilket betyder att du har mer frihet med karaktärsvalet. Men lägg inte alla ägg i korgen. För vissa karaktärer är lättare att börja med än vissa andra karaktärer. Innan varje race kan du välja fritt vilken bana du vill köra på. Och för varje race så ändras väderförhållandena. I början är det milt väder, men när du kommer upp i högre rang blir vädret tuffare och så blir motståndarna med. Kontrollerna för racen är simpla. Som i nästan varje racingspel använder du huvudknappen för att gasa och kontrollsticken för att svänga. Grafiken måste jag säga imponerar mig. Trots att spelet kom ut 2001 ser spelet ut bra än idag. Det är mycket detaljer runt banorna och vågorna är perfekta. Ljudeffekterna är också väldigt bra. Varje karaktär har sin egen speedröst som berättar tips som kan hjälpa dig att vinna. om du lyssnar. Det är ganska coolt och det känns som att den karaktär som du väljer har en egen personlighet. Nu ska jag prata om varför du vill racea. Genom varje race får du en överblick om hur banan ser ut och så får du ett visst antal poäng och en placering. Du måste komma på så bra placering så att du får lika många poäng eller mer för att ta dig till nästa race. Det är ganska enkelt i början. Nu ska jag prata om de här sakerna. Det här är bojor som flyter runt på varje bana. Du måste passera dem på insidan för att få vara kvar i racet. Missar du 5 stycken bojor har du förlorat. Det är ganska lätt att passera dem i början. Men sen när racen blir svårare ligger de ojämnt. Och du måste strö duktigt om du ska ha en chans att vara kvar. Så, finns det någon anledning att hamna i topp 3? Jo, om du lyckas hamna i topp 3 så händer det här.
Presenting the champions of the circuit. In third place, Ayumi Stewart. In second place, Ryota Hayami. In first place, Akari Hayami. Congratulations, champions!
Så, är Waver's Blue Storm värt att köpa idag? Jag tycker det i alla fall. Det är roligt att spela med bra kontroller, bra dataspel och dessutom finns det lokal multiplayer. Och jag tror det kan vara roligt med flera personer. Jag spelar ganska billigt idag, så köp det om du gillar racingspel. Det var alltså för denna video.
Last time on the SNES Geek Show.
Alright, my work is done here. See you.
Now, haha.
It's time. I'm back. What's up? Have you ever played a game that makes you feel happy and warm on the inside? Well, if you have played a feel-good game. There isn't an official list online which the best ones are, because feel-good games vary from person to person. So if it did exist, we'd be irrelevant. I mean, I have my own personal feel-good games, and you out there that's watching right now have your own personal feel-good games list. In this video, I'm gonna list 3 feel-good games which I consider are feel-good games. Alright, let's get started. Oh. I never get used to that. Where's my game? Alright, I forgot it. Wait just a second. This is Extreme Skate Adventure. Let's do this.
This is Extreme Skate Adventure for the Nintendo GameCube. This game came out in 2003, and 2003 was also the year Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 came out. And this game, it's just the baby's first Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. It even says on the back of the box. The game opens up with the cinematic with the company who published this game, Activision, announcing that they're looking for candidates for the new game. And of course, every kid ever signs up for a chance to be in this new skating game. We see kids succeeding and making moves, and we see them fail. But even with that, I like the cinematic. It makes me happy, even with the failing and the kids are having a good time with kick-ass music. But because of copyright, I put my own music in this intro. Now, as I said, this game has Disney in the title, and if you are afraid to miss all the Disney, then put these words to rest. You can play 12 different characters from 4 different Disney movies, all of them from recent times up until 2003. You can play as 7 characters from the beginning, but you can unlock more as you progress. Hell, you can even play as 2 of the characters that made past the trial in the intro of this game. When the actual game begins, you get a numerous amount of space to learn how the controls work. And as I said, this is a baby's first Tony Hawk game, so the controls are pretty much the same as before. One thing that is different is the time limit, which is gone. That's right, if you hated the 2-minute time limit in Tony Hawk, then you will love this game because it doesn't have a time limit at all, which means you can do as many tricks as you please. You get listed objectives for each level you're at when you enter it for the first time. If you complete a mission, you can't actually replay it again, which is kind of annoying. But since there is no time limit, you can trick as much as you want, and that compensates for only one-time missions, and the trick is the game. You get more points than ever before. Grinding is undoubtedly the best way to rank up your point totals very fast. Just get on a rail and start railing away. But what about the levels in this game? Disney thought of that, and they have the locations from the Disney movies in this game. You can skate in Andy's room, at the evil Emperor's Stirring Space Station, and even Pride Rock. Who thought you could skate at Pride Rock? The music is really good. The songs in the game are made by official bands like Simple Plan and Jump 5. It's basically songs that are made to get you in the mood to skate. Some might find these songs annoying because they're so overly happy. But these overly happy songs works in this game, for me at least. But of course there are more levels to play through and more songs to listen to. Actually, this game is perfect for Disney and skating fans.
Is it what
What? I was supposed to show you Pilot Wing 64 up next, but since I can't find it, I can't...
Wait a second.
I found it! Yeah! Okay, let's talk about Pilot Wing 64. Let's do this. Pilot Wing 64 is one of those games that may or may not appeal to you, depending if you like this genre or not. The premise is that you, the player, controls 3 different flying-based vehicles in order to earn a pilot license. So there are 4 difficulties and 3 vehicles in each difficulty, so a total of 12 missions. There are also 6 characters to choose from, which is kinda cool because each character have their strengths and weaknesses. The first mission on the first difficulty is the hang glider, and the objective is to land on a landing point. It's at this point when the game starts to show what it's about, creating a good mood, and it works really well. I really feel like I can give this world a second chance despite all the crap that's happening constantly. The music is really peaceful. It's smooth, jazzy, and it can work really well as its own independent CD. The controls are really simple to learn but hard to master, but that doesn't matter too much because you will have fun trying to beat these stages. But of course this game can be serious. For example, there's a point counter which decided how good you did on each part of the mission that you're at. So it doesn't matter how well you think you did. If you're not doing well, the game will let you know and you will cry in a corner. The next objective is about flying a rocket bed. Out of all the vehicles in this game, this one is my favorite because you have the most control of it.
Now this may seem very easy,
but that's just on the first class. Every class increases in difficulty, but that's just because it's like that. You don't have to worry that much about it, because getting a gold medal in every class is optional. But hey, you can unlock secrets if you get a gold and silver medal in each level, like the Birdman suit for example. In conclusion, you might want to check out Pilot Wing 64 if you want to play a peaceful game. And so, just like the last game, it opens up with the cinematic. This time Roman or Abaldi is protecting a mask from the evil lady. But surprise surprise, it gets stolen and they have to get it back. For reasons. When you start to play the actual game, there are a few things to point out here. 1. It looks much better than the last game. The cutscenes are more entertaining, there are brighter colors, it's genuinely just better. The scoring system is upgraded. Now you get points for everything that you do besides going forward. You get 50 points for getting over obstacles, 100 points for collecting cheese doodles, and 200 points for getting a carpet whip, aka extra life. The music is also an upgrade from the last game. Even though the music was good in the last game, it wasn't that memorable and it was easily forgotten. Actually, I started to remember the music from the first game when I was scripting this video. But the music in this game have been stuck in my mind. I mean, just listen to it.
Tåt lugna osten, Balder! Fasligt!
The levels are also longer and more creative, but despite that the levels are longer, the game is still pretty short. It can be a letdown to some people, but the game compensates for being very pretty to look at in the meantime. I actually wanted to go to this school or that forest, it looks so cool. Okay, I'm going to show you the last cutscene of the whole game after you have reached the end of the last level.
Det må vara en superskurkmask, men vi den är snygg inte. Så där ja. Spegel, spegel på väggen där. Säg vem som snyggast i landet är.
Ja, inte det du i alla fall! Spelet är över, lady! Ge tillbaka Dr. Franks mask!
Just det! Vilka är det som kallar ostjärnor, va? Vänta så ska jag hjälpa dig.
Det är så kallt och fullt här inne! Släpp ut mig, mamma! Jag är blind! Mamma!
So after that you get to see what total score you got, which is also the highest score. And depending on how much you got when the game is over, the happier they become.
Bananer!
Ostbågar, pucko!
Bananer!
So that was Rummel och Rabalder i jakten på Dr. Franks mask. Is this game worth getting? I guess if you are a fan of these on-rail games, then you might get a kick out of this. However, the easy difficulty and the short length of the game can probably turn you down. Actually, this game is really hard unless you're living in Sweden, because it's a Sweden exclusive. But why is this a Sweden exclusive, you might ask? In the late 90s and early 2000s, there was this TV show called Lattjo-Lajban, which had main focus to let children between the age 4 to 12 years old call into the show and play Rummel och Rabalder live with their telephone. It was actually a success. I personally wanted to call in myself, but I didn't dare to because I was very little. Now, if you managed to get in and compete in this game, you were the man. Your friends you could brag about it at school or at your day or at your kindergarten. Despite how much you sucked, if you managed to get in to get a call and play the game, you would win a reward. It was usually a jelly rat or a copy of the game. But you could always win a copy of the game despite how sucky you were. So that was it for this review. I will see you later. Bye.
It's time. Hi guys, so welcome to this snes Geek show. Summer's here, winter's gone. Finally, I can see the sun, which is a great thing because I'm sure there's plenty of people out there who hasn't seen the sun yet. So in this video, I figured, why not take a look at a game that's actually summer related. Crazy Taxi. But before we dive into Crazy Taxi, I had to do some preparation. So, let's do this!
So here's a look at the steering wheel itself. It has all the controls that you can find on a regular PS2 controller. It has two bumpers on the back, so this don't have to be used for racing only. It's a nicely designed steering wheel, and you can use it for all games, but you can only stay left and right. So this is recommendable for racing games only.
So without further ado, let this review begin. Now.
Okay, so this game has an arcade and an original mode. You can choose to play by the arcade rules, or you can also choose to play time limit. There are 4 drivers to choose from, and each of them does have their own driving style. Before you set any race, you get a few seconds to prepare, which is necessary because this game has a steep learning curve. Okay, so the main idea with this game is picking up people and then driving them to specific destinations. You always start off with 50 seconds unless you turn up the difficulty. And if you thought that this game is following the traffic rules, then you're sorely mistaken. Along the way you actually get money for driving crazy, which I guess is logical since this game is called Crazy Taxi. And it doesn't matter how much damage you're causing because your customer seems to be having a rocking good time. You always know where you're gonna go because you got an arrow pointing you to your destination. The arrow always grows bigger the closer you are to your destination, so you don't really have too much to worry about when it comes to know where you're gonna go. And after you reach the destination and the customer has hopped up to your taxi, you're getting extra time and money. That's about it. Pick up people and drop them off, pick up people and drop them off. It may be a turn down for those who wanted a serious racing game. And your customers can actually leave you. If it takes too long to get to the destination and you don't get there within the time limit, they leave your cabin not giving you the money you earned during your trip. The controls take some time getting used to. I thought that you would accelerate using the X button, but as it turns out you have to use the L triggers up there. However, once you get the hang of these controls, which shouldn't take you too long, this game is a blast to play. Driving into other people's cars and earn money is surprisingly fun. However, there is a problem to this game. The controls are kind of flawed. It actually takes a few seconds to get away after you dropped off a person. However, you can save seconds by taking shortcuts, which this game has plenty of. Which I haven't actually found all the shortcuts yet. There's plenty of shortcuts to learn, plenty of people to pick up. This game has unlimited replayability. So in conclusion, is it worth playing Crazy Taxi today? Yeah, well, the graphics is really shit. That's about the only complaint I can think about. Also, the controls are a bit weird. You really have to get used to those controls if you're gonna play Crazy Taxi. But other than that, the game is fun to play. It definitely has the arcade feel. And if you get the steering wheel, it will become just like an arcade machine. The only complaint about the steering wheel itself is that you don't actually use the gas pedals. You use the bumpers on the side. However, this game is actually really cheap to pick up. So if you have a PS2 and you want to have some fun and arcade experience in your house, then go ahead and pick this up. It's recommendable. Okay, so that was this video. I am the SNES Geek, you are the audience. I will see you in the next video. Bye. Alright guys, now I'm back. Welcome to the SNES Geek show and I am the SNES Geek. Man, I can't believe it. It's fall 2016 already. Man, the summer was damn good. I'm getting old. Okay, let's flash back to 1998. Why not? So what happened in 1998? Well, Mulan was released in theaters, The Lion King 2 scene was probably one of the best Disney direct-to-DVD sequels ever was released on DVD, VHS, and it was that face of the front cover of the film that was going to sell big bucks worldwide. And even Israel won the Eurovision Song Contest. It was also a big year for the rally game franchise as Colin McRae Rally entered the console gaming market.
So Colin McRae Rally is a game that has really grown on to me. It's grown on to me like your beloved grows on to you. And look at the scores for this game on the box. That's right, and it even says the greatest rally game of all time. So how can it possibly be that bad? Well, this is actually a game that immerses you into the game and you feel like you are actually racing in a race car. Don't believe me? Watch this then.
Developed and published by Codemasters in 1998, this game just so happens to be the first game in a long-running franchise, the latest game being released last year in 2015. It opens up with the computer-generated FMV, which should just be real-life FMV to me. I find no reason to actually make the intro animated. Maybe it was because to save money to make the game better. Who knows? But what I can say is that this game has many arrows. Just look how many arrows is shown in the intro. There are so many arrows I can't even count them all. If this game has as many arrows like it's shown in the intro, we're in for one hell of a ride. After the difficult choice of choosing manual or automatic, the real game begins. It's a rally game! If you didn't read the title of this game or watch the intro, this would be the biggest surprise ever. There is no story, it's just about racing on a track. You race, race, race! And steer. Use the X button for speed and the left analog stick for steering. That's about what you need to know to play this game in terms of controls. This game actually differs from other racing games in a few ways. For starters, you have an arrow guiding you, which is a common thing in racing games, but unlike some other racing games, you have to follow this arrow because the tracks are not just always straightforward. It will change in color depending on how sharp the turn is. You have competition, but they are not visible on screen, you have to imagine them. I think this was done due to hardware limitations of the PlayStation, but that makes this game feel more focused on you, the player. You don't have to worry about crashing into other cars or overtake them. You just have to hit the finish line, which is what I adore with this game. You can transport into this game, and you feel like you are in the front seat of a race car. But you're not entirely alone, of course. When you hit the checkpoint, you see your competition on screen. If you want to beat a season, as it's called in this game, you have to get at least 6th place overall when you finish with the season, otherwise you have to restart it. The graphics in this game are really primitive, which works to this game's benefit. With only trees and fence to crash into, the game runs smoothly. But the cars have nice details and the engine noise is satisfying as duck. There are also spectators, which is just sprites. They will observe your race but they won't cheer you on. They just stand in fenced in areas and do nothing more. Once again, hardware limitations. Along the races you have a guide telling you where to head to next, which is not really necessary anyway, because you can hear him that well, and the arrows does a really good job anyway, so why is he here? To simulate the feeling of a race car, of course. In between races you can customize your car, which is a pretty cool detail, which is something I didn't care about, because I was too busy caring about my driving skills. The third level in the first division is my favorite, because you're driving right after a big rain and you see a rainbow in front of you, but you can't reach because that would make the game way too unrealistic, and that wasn't clearly what they were going for. They were going for a true rally experience. This is also the first level where you will drive in mud, which dirts down your car, and I must say, this mud looks pretty damn good for a PS1 game. There is a charm with this game, which I admire. This was meant to be a true rally experience, and it succeeds as every aspect of being a rally game. If I'm going to complain about something, the amount of arrows on screen in the intro was massive, and there's only 2 arrows max on screen at once in the game, and it could have worked with the multiplayer mode. So I ended this season at an 8th place overall, but that's okay, because it was a jolly good time while it lasted. Plus you have to fail a number of times before you can succeed, and that is something which we should all think about. Plus I set a new record for this season. Okay, so I am the SNES Geek, and today I'm reviewing Donald Duck PK for the PS2. It's about Donald Duck as a superhero. It opens up with an FMV about planet Earth that's being invaded by Evronian soldiers. Now it's up to Donald Duck PK to save Earth and stop the Evronians. This is your opportunity to take a drink of water. This loading screen is really long. But hey, PK got that face that says, "I got this, Mother Ducker. You can't stop me." After the break, you can finally play the game. Hooray! One of the things you will notice is the snow. Snow everywhere in PK. So you move around and shoot. I can't say this hasn't been done before, because it has. Many times. Something else that has been done to death is that you have to collect things. But something that hasn't been done in the past too often is the checkpoint system. Yup, there is a reason to collect these things, because they act as currency to activate the checkpoints which are spread around the levels. So the enemies vary from really easy to kind of hard. We start off with cool flames, which are really easy to take down, just a few shots. We have the Evronian soldiers, which are pretty much the standard enemies in this game. And then they are the cocaine and the cool flames, which are really hyper and they mock you by taunting you. By the way,
What on earth does PK mean?
PK stands for the scientific Latin classification Platyrincos kineticus. Translated loosely, it means energized duck. Put the P and the K together and you have PK.
What? Is that what PK stands for? I thought PK stood for Pizza Kid or anything more simple than that.
Anyhow, back to the game. You will be fighting against ducks.
But the question is, are there anything more in this game than just ducks?
Of course there is. You won't just be fighting against ducks. You will be fighting against pirates, collect help, saving hostages, and fight bosses. Everything you could possibly ask for in a superhero game. But of course, like any game, there are some things that is kinda bad that could have been fixed for the release. That is the camera. It will always stay behind PK, which may not sound too bad, but then there are times when you just want to adjust it. But the game doesn't allow that. Like I said, it always stays behind it. It will never move, and there are times when things are in the way, which block your sight, and it can result in some cheap death. However, it's not that big of a problem for me, as I mastered this game for playing so much in my childhood. This game even has power-ups, which are honestly the coolest thing about this game. And I gotta say, these power-ups hasn't been done too much in video gaming. It brings a little originality. Every power-up are drastically different from each other, and it never feels like one is used less than the others. The first upgrade are thrusters, which allows you to glide over gaps, and it also lightens the impact, which saves the damage you would normally take. The next power-up is the downward smash, which are used to access new areas. There are tons of times when this power-up is used. You have stand on a mysterious surface and you will break it downwards. You can even discover some secret with this power-up, so make sure you try to break any mysterious surface. The next power-up is a shield breaker, which are used to break shields at the Evronian soldiers. Only some of them though. Make sure you have enough health. If the green bar on the side of your main health isn't filled, you can't use it. Just hold down the square button when the soldier is not shooting and you should land a hit. The fourth power up is for a hole. This really puts your control skills to the test. You must steer a Mini-X transformer through a maze, and in the end awaits a battle which allows you to progress through the game. Because Donald can't fit in a hole. The fifth and final power-up is a grappling hook, and it's pretty self-explanatory of what it does. In fact, okay, let's talk about the bosses in this game, or the lack there are. Yeah, there are only 2 bosses in the entire game. The first one is the elite Evronian, who for some reason can't fight you alone. He needs a machine to hurt you. This boss is really easy. Just avoid his shots and use your shield breaker when he is vulnerable. It's the same principle as the shielded Evronian soldiers. And then there's the final boss, against the boss on this type of operation, the madman behind all this. And I gotta say, one of the coolest final bosses ever. He looks so badass, and this boss fight is actually really good. This boss is split up into 2 halves. The first one is pretty easy. Use your X transformer to shoot back these bombs he shoots at you. There are also some time bombs that follows you that you have to jump in order to destroy without taking health, and also some Evronian surface as well. It adds a little difficulty and forces you to really know how the controls work at this point. He uses sound waves to make you fall down. Hell, I didn't even finish this boss and I was making gameplay footage for this video. But a pretty fair final boss, I must say.
Okay, so here's the thing, guys. Donald Duck PK may not be the best game out there, but it's definitely not the worst game ever. I had real fun with this, and I bet anyone who wants a Donald Duck themed superhero game should definitely get this. Or even if you're into PS2 or GameCube. So this is definitely worth buying if you ask me. So that was the end of this video. I am the SNES Geek, you are the audience, I love you, thank you so much. Bye.